โอเค ต่อไปก็จะพูดถึง T-Exam Episode 5 แล้วกันนะคะ ระหว่างรอ ก็คือ T-Exam Episode 5 เนี่ย The first question Which of the following of the term used to describe an action potential jumping from node to node in an axon Again which of the following is a term used to describe an action potential jumping from node to node in an axon ตอบ Salutary conduction Salutary conduction is a jump from node to node on a myelinated axon again Saltatory conduction Saltatory conduction is a term that used to describe an action potential jumping from node to node in an axon jump from node to node on a myelinated axon next one Reverberation it is a signal traveling through a chain of nerve of a neuron rather than along the single neuron. Again, reverberation it is a signal traveling through a chain the whole chain of the neuron instead of single neuron reverberation is a signal traveling through the whole chain of neuron rather than only one single neuron next temporal summation is described one way to create an action potential rather than describe an action potential jumping from node to node in an axon. Again, temporal summation. It is described one way to create an action potential. Is described one way to create an action potential rather than describing an action potential jumping from node to node in an axon. Next, Recochaetic refer to passing an electoral impulse from one nerve to another nerve rather than conduction of an action potential along one nerve. Again, recochaeting refer to passing an electoral impulse from one nerve to another rather than the conduction of an action potential along one nerve. Again, temporal summation is described one way to create an action potential rather than describe an action potential jumping from node to node on an axon. And reverberation it is a signal traveling through a chain of neurons rather than along a single neuron. Next, water molecule. These are polar in nature, which allow opposite partial charge of water molecule to form hydrogen bond. Water molecule. These are polar in nature. Water molecule. These are polar in nature, which allow opposite partial charge of water molecule to form hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond exists in the water molecule. Molecules are polar in nature, which allow opposite partial charge of the water molecule to form the hydrogen bond. Ionic bond. Okay, discarding. Okay, go this one first. Which of the following statement is included in the law of segregation? Again, which of the following statement is included in the law of segregation? Each gamete carry only one allele for each gene. Each gamete carry only one allele for each gene. This is the Mendel's first law of inheritance, which is a law of segregation. A law of segregation is each gamete carries only one allele for each gene. Each gamete carries only one allele for each gene. This is the Mendel's first law of inheritance, and it is a law of segregation. Next, an atom that lost an electron become positive in charge and is called cation. Again, an atom that has lost electron become positive and is called cation ก็คือการที่อะตอมเนี่ยหนึ่งอะตอมมันถ้าประจุลบหายไปอิเล็กตรอนก็คือประจุลบถ้าประจุลบหายไปมันก็จะกลายเป็นว่าเป็น positive แล้วไอ้ตัว positive positive is mean cation ก็คือเป็น cation is cation but if atom that had lost the positive charge is become negative and negative called an anion and is called anion anion positive called cation negative called anion next which of the following statement is true about proton Again, which of the following statement is true about protons? Protons, they are located in the nucleus of an atom. Again, proton are located in the nucleus of an atom. ก็คือโปรตอนเนี่ยจะอยู่ในนิวเคลียสโปรตอนอยู่ในนิวเคลียส Protons are one of the subatomic particles that are located in the nucleus of an atom. Again, protons are one of the subatomic particles that are located in the nucleus of an atom. Next, electron. Electron can travel around the nucleus of an atom within the orbitals. And it can share with another atom in a covalent bond and it can transfer to another atom in an ionic bond. Again, electron is travel around the nucleus of an atom within the orbital and it can share with another atom in an covalent bond and it can transfer to another atom in an ionic bond. Next, which of the following characteristics apply to the bond holding together nonpolar covalent molecules? Again, which of the following characteristics apply to the bonds holding together nonpolar covalent molecules. Again, they share electron between atoms and result in balanced distribution of charge throughout the molecule. Both polar and nonpolar covalent bonds share electron between atoms. However, polar covalent molecules contain area of partial charge. Again, which of following characteristics apply to the bond holding together nonpolar covalent molecule? Again, which of the following characteristics apply to the bond holding together nonpolar covalent molecule? Nonpolar covalent molecule. They share electron between atoms. They share electron between atoms and result in balancing distribution. They share electron between atoms and result in balancing distribution of charge throughout the molecule. Both polar and nonpolar covalent bonds share electron between atoms. However, polar covalent molecules contain area of the partial charge. Again, for the nonpolar covalent bond, they share electron between atoms and result in balancing distribution charge throughout the molecule. Okay. Next one. Okay, again, next one. This one. Okay, next one. Water molecule. Water molecule, these are the polar in nature, which allow the opposite partial charge of the water molecule to form the hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond, water is a hydrogen bond and they are polar in nature. Next, ionic bond. Ionic bond, these are made from the joining of oppositely charged ion that developed with electron transfer. Again, ionic bond. These are made from the joining of oppositely charged ion that develop with electron transfer. Again, which of the following is characteristic of graph displaying the physical state of substance under varying temperature and pressure? Again, which of the following is characteristic of graph displaying the physical state of substance under varying temperature and pressure? Again, which of the following is characteristic of graph displaying the physical state of substances under varying temperature and pressure? Having temperature and pressure as its x and is called a phase of diagram. A phase diagram can be used to predict state of substance under certain combination of temperature and pressure. Again, which of the following characteristic of graph displaying the physical state of substance under varying temperature and pressure? Graph displaying the physical state of substance under varying temperature and pressure. ตอบ having temperature and pressure as its x and is called phase paragraph phase diagram. A phase diagram can be used to predict state of substance under certain combination of temperature and pressure. Next, triple point. Triple point is the combination of temperature and pressure where substance can exist in all three phases. Again, triple point diagram. Triple point diagram is the combination of temperature and pressure where the substances can exist in all three phases. Next, plus graph. Plus graph. This information would be seen on a graph that plot temperature and energy change rather than temperature and pressure and substance phases. Again, plot graph. This information would be seen on a graph that plot temperature and energy change rather than temperature, pressure, and substance phases. Next, talking about the boiling point. Boiling point, this diagram would only address the boiling point of one or more substances. Again, boiling point, this diagram would only address the boiling point of one or more substances. Next, which of the following compound ขอจบเอพิโซด5แต่เพียงเท่านี้ก่อน